Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, it is a Wednesday edition of Talking Ball. We're off, we're running. It's another brand new live one. Welcome in. 41 degrees as you make your way into work, into school, wherever you may be headed on this Wednesday. And that is where our first guest of the morning is headed. That is to school, because it is a Wednesday, and that means it's one thing and one thing only. It is our segment with the one, the only, Grady the Greek now with us this morning. Good morning, Grady.
Morning.
Morning, Grady.
How we doing, bud?
Good.
Hey, first, I knew this last week, and I think you may have forgotten. I got to ask you, though, before we get to your picks, how was New York City?
It was good.
Did you eat lots of good food, though, while you were out there?
Yes, sir.
All right.
What was your favorite?
Yeah, what was your best thing you had in New York?
I don't know.
We're putting you on the spot here early in the morning. I'm sure you had to have some pizza. Did you have some pizza?
Yes, sir.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, so Alabama gets it done last week against Arkansas. How nervous were you in that game?
I was very nervous.
Your thoughts, though, on the Hogs and that game last week?
Last week is over.
The man of little words but right to the point.
Yeah, I mean, he was, and I believe he told us that Jace McClellan would be the MVP, and he was to a degree because he got the first down to run the clock out, so no doubt about that. Well, Grady, this is a huge rivalry. You know what happened last year. Every Alabama fan's been waiting for this rematch. What are your thoughts on Alabama-Tennessee?
One thing's for sure, I don't want to hear Rocky Top. I do not like that song at all.
Amen to that, sir.
Are you going to be able to go to this game or no?
No, sir.
All right. So what do you think, Alabama-Tennessee in Bryant-Denny Stadium, 2:30 kickoff, third Saturday in October? What does Grady the Greek feel about this one?
The offensive line is going to have to play their best this week. But
Right.
The bottom line is we have to get revenge.
Revenge.
All right. The score?
Alabama 23, Tennessee 20.
So you're thinking, once again, a Maylocks type game.
Yes, sir.
Going to have to hold your breath on this one.
Right.
All right. So that's Alabama-Tennessee. What other ones are we picking this week?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So you're not picking Auburn and Ole Miss.
This is the only one that matters.
All right, now
the only one that
we got to
matters.
circle back though, Grady. So who's going to be MVP if Alabama wins this thing 23-20?
Will Riker.
Oh, Will
Ooh,
Riker.
so you're thinking this is going to come down to a kick at the end?
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Well, this is good because
Ooh.
Grady, I don't have it as close as you do, but it's very similar. I have 29-20, and I've got Riker kicking 5 field goals. So, and Alabama scoring 2 touchdowns. So we're along the same wavelength here, no question about that.
So Grady, who are we going to give a shout out to this week?
My Aunt Nat Nat.
Okay.
All
and so
right.
how did football go last week, Grady?
We didn't play last week, but this week we're in the playoffs.
Uh-oh.
If we win this week, we go to the championship.
Oh, you've got to win this week. Uh-oh. So when's the game?
Wait, 6:30.
Oh,
Oh, it's tonight. It's tonight. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is for the.
Uh-oh.
This is for the.
It's on Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday.
okay.
Ooh, Grady, that's a tough
Well,
one.
no wonder you can't go to the Alabama-Tennessee
Yeah.
game. You're playing for the championship. You go to the championship on Saturday night.
But that's going to get in the way of you watching Alabama-Tennessee.
Well, a little bit. I mean, he'll get to see as much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They low down,
Ah.
dirty, and they some snitches.
Good job, Grady.
All right, thanks,
And
bud.
nothing sucks like Big Orange.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Thanks.
Grady's been listening to the show. Thanks, Grady.
Thanks, Grady.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Grady the Greek with us.
There he goes.
23-20. And he used snitches.
Yeah, and he said nothing sucks like a big orange. He's right about that, too.
Oh, my goodness. Grady the Greek with us this morning. 23-20, going only one game because that's the only one that matters. Oh, boy. Let's stay out on the phone lines. Mark from Huntsville with us. Good morning, Mark.
Morning. Always like following this call. You know,
There you go.
kind of like the old Leonard's loser deal here. But hey, I'll say this: if it were game day in Lee Corso, I would tell Grady, not so fast, my friend. This is a Tennessee team that was embarrassed the last time they went on the road, any kind of a game that meant something at Florida, and Florida's not Alabama, and Alabama's going for them, and that is they did say revenge, and I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama got off to a quick start. That Alabama, I think they're just better than Tennessee this year. Tennessee, you look at that game in the fourth quarter last year, there were so many things that went wrong. Some of them that, terrible.
We got
All
you.
right, so Mark is
We got you, Mark.
Mark is feeling that Alabama is better than Tennessee right now.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't feel that 23-20 is what it's going to be. He feels that Alabama's going to get off to a fast start. We saw them get off to a fast start against Arkansas, and things kind of slowed down a little bit. Does Alabama get off to a fast start Saturday?
They didn't get off to a fast start against Arkansas.
Okay,
they were down 6-0,
right.
then they were down 7-6, and then they got up. They had a good second quarter. And Mark, finish your thought. You're there?
Yeah. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, you were breaking up. Go ahead.
Just real quick, I'll finish my thought with this.
Uh-huh.
There's something about this game. It's a special game. Nick Saban's 14 out of 15 for a reason. And he'll have them motivated, and we'll have nothing to compare this game to because that's the kind of performance we're going to get out of Alabama, a 4-quarter game, and we'll be smoking cigars in the third quarter.
Thank you, sir.
Alabama will win this. I got a score of 30-13.
All right, thanks, Mark. Thanks for that phone
And actually,
call.
it is 15 out of 16. He's won
Right.
because last year, but this will be his 17th game against Tennessee as Alabama's coach. I don't have as much confidence as Mark, just simply because I do think Tennessee is improved from the standpoint of defensively. I think they're better than they were a year ago.
Right.
Alabama's got some issues at left tackle. Hopefully, they could scheme around that. And you've got a quarterback in of course, Jalen Milroe, who's developing. But I will just say this. There's a huge difference. There's a huge drop-off. Last year, you had two of the best in college football, even though Dennis Doofus was in the press box and had cataracts and, really couldn't tell, that it was two of the best quarterbacks in America, and they both should have been in New York, and it's an absolute abomination that neither one of them were. But, again – it was just an offensive clinic. It was a 52-49 game in regulation. I don't expect that kind of game. I expect about half that because both quarterbacks got I'll just say Milton is what he is. He's got a strong arm. Now he's capable, but he really hasn't put it all together. He's got good mobility, good athleticism. Milroe is athletic. He can make plays with his feet, but he doesn't really try to at times.
Right.
And he's a guy that is capable as a passer. We saw it against Texas A&M, but we also saw what you referred to earlier as the second half against Arkansas where they struggled. And so
right.
It's going to come down to which team runs the ball better, which team can slow the other team's running game
Right.
down.
And that's what I was going to say.
Is turnovers.
Which is more like Tennessee comes in averaging almost 230 yards of rushing game rushing yards per game.
Right,
230.333, whatever you want to do the dots.
Yeah, they've run the ball well all year, yeah. Except
Alabama is only allowing, versus SEC teams,
Right.
94.4 yards rushing.
Yeah.
So which is more likely to happen? Tennessee gets their average on the ground, or Alabama holds Tennessee to their average?
Well, if Alabama gives up over 200 yards rushing, then they're losing the game, and somebody should be fired. Okay, so I mean, they just basically you need to have your ass ready to play, and and get off some blocks, and it needs to be kind of like when Leonard Fournette came in 2013, and everybody was talking about him, winning the Heisman Trophy, and 2015. Let me correct myself. Coming in, and he was going to win the Heisman Trophy, and he'd run all over Auburn and bounced off everybody and everything, and Alabama whipped his ass, and Derrick Henry ran it down LSU's throats, and Derrick Henry came out of there as the Heisman front runner. Now, I don't think any Heisman front runners are coming out of this game, but I just think it's going to be whoever runs the ball and stops the run the best, and whoever does, the quarterback will play better because it'll be easier on the quarterback, and
Right.
I think they'll be able to make plays, but I still think Alabama can hold Tennessee under the 230-yard average. I've said this, if they can hold Tennessee between 120 and 130 yards in that area, somewhere around there between 120 and 130, I think they can win the game. Because I'm under no delusions. Tennessee's going to run it at times, but if Alabama can keep from giving up explosive plays and load the box themselves, then I think they can turn Tennessee over a couple of times. And if Milroe continues what he's done since Ole Miss and not turn it over,
Right.
and hit a couple of deep balls and be more efficient than he was last week, where he was just not very accurate in the second half. And again, I'm not talking about going out and throwing for 320 like he did against Dirt Neck. I think in A&M, I think it's okay if he could go, I don't know, 16 out of 24 for like 210 yards,
Right.
and maybe a touchdown or two and no turnovers, and Alabama run the football for around 200 yards themselves, then I think that Alabama can win the game. And then that would also mean they would win the plus-minus. They don't need a superhuman effort out of Milroe in this game, because I will say this, I think Tennessee has got a good front and a good defense.
Right.
But I mean, it's not any tougher than A&M's, and I would hope at being at home and that being able to scheme some things up, that Alabama would run it better than they did against the Aggies. Otherwise, they're going to need Milroe
Right.
to play his best game. Now, in this game, I think they need more balance than they had against A&M.
So you say, okay, so Jalen Milroe doesn't have to go out and do an all-star performance on Saturday. If Tide can be balanced, they'll be okay.
He just needs a really good performance.
If you're Josh Heupel and you are talking to Joe Milton this morning, you're sitting in the office, are you saying, hey, Joe, we need an all-star performance from you to get us over the top?
I think that he's got to play his best game of this season, because, again, if you look at his stat line, he's thrown for more yards than about the same amount of yards.
He's 12th in passing in the SEC with 1,264 yards.
Yeah, and I guess Milroe, after the last game, passed him up. I guess he's
Right.
at like over 1,300, something like that. So both of them aren't among the leading passers in the league, but Milroe, I guess, has been slightly better. But they're going to need, over 200 yards passing from Milton, and they're going to have to, like Squirrel White, for example. He's coming home, and he's 45 minutes from home. He's going to have a Joey Kent type, a great game. He's going to have to make some vertical plays, because don't forget, Brew McCoy's out, and we'll talk to Vince Ferrara about that later in the show. But they lost Brew McCoy basically for the year.
Yeah, Jalen Milroe's passed for 1,397 yards.
So it's over
That's
1,300.
8th in the league.
Right.
Joe Milton is 12th in the league at 1,264. By the way, just to tell you where the comparisons are between 1 and 15, Jaden Daniels has thrown for 2,294 yards to lead the league. Peyton Thorne has thrown for 745 yards. and that is 15th. So that is the comparison between 1 and 15 to tell you where 8 and 12 is on the scale.
Okay, so they didn't rank just 14. They ranked 15 quarterbacks?
They ranked 15 quarterbacks,
well, I mean, yeah, because Auburn's played 2. Maybe they ranked them both. I don't know. But, I mean, they've played 2 dudes. Well, and Alabama, for one game, didn't play Milroe. But, yeah, I mean, no question. But
Texas A&M has 2 quarterbacks.
Oh,
on there.
well, yeah, because
Connor
Wegman got hurt.
And Max Johnson.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean, Max has thrown for 898 yards since
he
taken
took over. Yeah.
So that's why there's 15.
Well, I mean, and I think he had 220 or so last week, even though his numbers weren't super efficient.
Right.
So Milroe's got to be more efficient than that, and then he's got to do what he's done in just about every game, and that's make some explosive plays in the passing game. But I think, and it'll come down to it. I mean, if whoever runs the ball the best, I think it'll open up some opportunities in the passing game. And certainly if Tennessee wins this game, Milton's going to have his best game, 200+, not turn it over, and be efficient. But I do think, that Alabama can pressure Milton. I do think they can turn him over, but we'll see. I mean, it's kind of interesting. These teams are very similar to one another in the way they're trying to play. But Tennessee has run the ball better than Alabama. There's no question about that. But Alabama has been, I think, has made more big plays throwing the football.
Well, Jalen Milroe's longest of the season is 79 yards.
Right.
Joe Milton's longest is 55. That just tells you that they don't have that explosive.
Well, they don't have the Jalen Hyatt.
Yes.
Of course, we didn't know who Jalen Hyatt was completely until, Alabama and Pete Golding and Wild Turkey had the greatest defensive game plan in history and, continued to leave him one-on-one with a safety and leave him wide-ass open. But, but Jalen Hyatt, he had a hell of a game last year. And then Cedric Tillman, the year before, I think he had 170. So Alabama, the last 2 years against Tennessee, even though they did win the game, in Tuscaloosa 2 years ago, they've got to, limit the big plays. They can't give up the big plays. They're going to have to do a good job against Squirrel White, and they're going to have to make Tennessee earn it. And basically Florida did that, but that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to make Tennessee earn it, and I still think it's going to be a great crowd as well.
All right, let's jump in, or let's get our first break of the morning. Oh, bad habits. Let's get our first break of the morning in. When we come back, there was college football in the state of Alabama last night. Not 1, but 2 games on the gridiron.
What an ending.
One of them was an ending you're going to want to hear when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning. Working on a couple of wrecks. Old Highway 20 in Greenbrier Parkway and westbound 565 on the ramp to Glen Hearn. Both of those reported as no injury, and they should clear pretty quick. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Eck in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Installation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do installation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Southern Fidelity Mortgage. Think of them as a loan for everyone, offering more products than anyone else and the guaranteed lowest rates and costs in town. Of the 2,000 loans that Southern Fidelity Mortgage has pre-approved over the last 10 years, all but one have closed. That's unprecedented in the banking business. For FHA, VA, rural development, and conventional mortgages, for the best mortgage experience in town, it's Southern Fidelity Mortgage.
Call Southern Fidelity Mortgage Company at 256-656-5936.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. All right, Alabama. What does Alabama and Jacksonville State have in common?
With Grady the Greek right now at the buzzer.
But there's something else they both have in common right now.
Right.
And this is the first time in the history of both programs that we can actually say this.
Right.
That both Alabama and Jacksonville State, as of right now, are bowl eligible. Both of them.
Amazing.
Alabama has they crossed that bridge. I mean, Alabama has a way more lot to play for, but I mean, but still, Alabama has hit the 6-win plateau.
This is a great first year in Conference USA for Rich Rod.
If Jacksonville State is bowl eligible, that means good things happened last night at home against Western Kentucky, and they did. Here is how it sounded, courtesy of the Gamecock Radio Network.
Mike Paris.
The shift. Lines are set. Snap good. Hold good. Flag on the play. He slipped as he kicked it. The kick is good. Watch the flag.
They were offside.
Offsides.
Yeah, defense.
He slipped as he kicked it, did Karaji.
Yeah, barely got over.
Jacksonville State upsets Western Kentucky. The Gamecocks transitioning from FCS to FBS, bowl eligible with their 6th win. Karajic from 41 yards slipped as he's planted to kick it, and he was still right in the middle of the uprights. 20-17, Jacksonville State wins.
That's a great win right there, and Zion Webb had a huge game. I mean, remember he got a little banged up against Liberty, who, by the way, beat Jeff from the Borough 42-35, and that Jeff from the Borough is not probably going to be bowl eligible this year. Middle Tennessee's 2-6, but in Liberty,
remember they had a good chance to come down to Alabama.
They were coming to win.
They were coming to win.
They were coming to win for 2 minutes, and then ended up until they got down 7-0. But anyways, Zion Webb 22 of 39, 218 yards. Did throw a pick, but he rushed for 146 on 28 totes. Anwar Lewis had 85 and a touchdown as Jacksonville State gets it done. So, and P.J. Wells also had 53 yards receiving. They didn't throw a touchdown pass in the game, but those are some of the leaders for Jacksonville State. And I got to give a quick shout out because we've we covered him, and and we've been out there for Team of the Week awards and things when he was playing. But let's not forget one of our homeboys here, River Helms. You played out there at our West Limestone
with Shelby Davis.
Yep. Coach Shelby Davis does a great job with that program. And River Helms had a touchdown catch from 3 yards out and ended with 3 catches for 50 yards. So River Helms, the tight end now for Western Kentucky, helped West Limestone, and don't forget that, to a state basketball championship during his run there at West Limestone as well. So for Coach Justin Taylor. So there's some great folks over there at West Limestone, and River Helms did a great job in defeat for Western Kentucky. He's now 4-3, but as you said, Jacksonville State 6-2 and bowl eligible now.
So I mentioned there were 2 games before the break in the state of Alabama last night. The other one down south. South Alabama taking on Southern Miss last night, and the Jaguars, they get the 55-3 win over Southern Miss. So they have 4 wins now on the season, does Southern Miss. Our good friend, John Summerall, who last week got a win, they are off this week, is Troy. Troy is off this week, but they are sitting in the clubhouse now with 5 wins. They are 5-2 on the season, is Troy. So we could have Alabama, Jacksonville State, Troy, South Alabama, and if Auburn can pick up their 3 wins and get to 6, we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams from the state of Alabama pack up and be in bowl games this year. So Jacksonville State on the list. They're bowl eligible.
Yeah, they are, no doubt about it.
So congratulations to Rich Rodriguez, boy. Is he resurrecting that career? Because after he left Arizona,
it's called stay there till the end of it.
That's it.
This
is
what
where
it's
Rich
called.
Rod needs to end.
Yeah, the only other way you could maybe move on is if the timing lines up or whatever, and you realize that you never should have left the old alma mater, and if West Virginia came calling again, you could go back to good old West Virginia. But that's
beginning of the year that may have happened, but now.
But and good Lord, what a finish that was last week! Oh, what a heartbreak on that Hail Mary against Houston. I mean, they were about to be about 5-1, and then it's tipped and caught, and Hair Club for Men won. Dana Holgerson.
That was the Dana Holgerson Bowl, though.
Yeah.
West Virginia, Houston. Well, I mean, it was the Dana Holgerson
Or just call
Bowl.
him Mullet Boy. I don't know. He won.
That's Mike Gundy.
Yeah, that's right.
Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State's
Mullet
Mullet
Boy.
Boy.
Right, yeah. But Dana always looks like he just woke up or something, after a bender at the bar.
You are 100% correct there. He just looks like that grizzled old man sitting down at the end of the bar.
About half a pack of cigarettes from Jeff, even though Jeff doesn't smoke, so I don't know.
That is the greatest mystery of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, every caller that calls in and everyone that texts into the show says that Jeff smokes at least 2 to 3 packs a day.
He probably just yells a lot. You know what I'm saying? I guess.
I don't know. But apparently he's living in our heads because we keep mentioning him and he's not calling.
Well, he did call. We just, never.
All right. Let's get it's 7:28. Let's get a break in. When we come back, 256-576-4977. The phone lines are open to you. The Athletics Heisman straw poll is out for the week. Who do you think is number 1 on the straw poll? And we'll throw this Caleb Williams story in there because it cannot be true. It can't be true. I'll explain it all when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. We'll drop into the low and mid-50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday. A mostly cloudy sky Thursday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers are going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley. It looks like the best chance for that is going to be Thursday night and then through the first half of the day on Friday. Highs hanging out in the mid-70s on Thursday. I've got the upper 60s and lower 70s on Friday. More sunshine builds back into the Tennessee Valley by the time we get to Saturday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a wreck coming out of Lawrence County now. Old Highway 24 and the new 24. That one may have an injury involved. Westbound 565 at Glen Hearn and Old Highway 20 at Greenbrier Parkway. Both of those came in as no injury. Should be close to clearing. You could lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with the 2030 Fast Track Weight Loss Program. Find out more at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is driven by you, driven by those with grit, determination, and a goal to succeed. This is why we do what we do. The Huntsville Sports Commission promotes an enhanced quality of life in the Huntsville area through sports. We work hard to make sure those who come to Huntsville to compete have all they need to be the best they can be. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Did you know the state's top-ranked private school is here in Huntsville? What about one of the nation's few Orton Gillingham Academy accredited schools? At Randolph School, our experienced teachers and coaches challenge and nurture students as they prepare for college and life. Our pre-K through 12 school includes Greengate School at Randolph, serving students with dyslexia. Parents, we know that you are your child's biggest advocate, and we invite you to explore your education options. Schedule a tour at randolphschool.net.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you on a Wednesday morning. I still wanted it to be Thursday, but it's not. It's still Wednesday. 256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the fun, the program this morning. Coming out of the break, we go there. Wolverine Dan with us now. Good morning, sir.
What's up, Dan?
Well, gentlemen, how are we doing this morning? Well?
Good.
Well, I'm on my way to work, so when I get to work, I'll have to cut this.
I thought you were retired, man.
No. I got a real good friend of mine. Him and I go out there, and he's well established in his town, and him and I go out there, and I guess we go out there and do what we have to do. But anyway, no, he's a real nice guy. Anyway, we hang out, basically hanging out, having a good time. How's that?
Okay.
Anyway, real quickly, it's a stat that I had that popped in my head that I wanted to mention that I thought was pretty cool. Corum, our running back, has surpassed Mike Hart and Denard Robinson for the most touchdowns in Michigan history. They only trail Tyrone Wheatley and my God, the one that has the most. I forgot. Shoot. All right, but anyway, he's third ranked in touchdowns. That holds well. I mean, the guy really just smells the end zone. I mean, and the thing is, he's not that tall, okay, but he's built like a fire hydrant. The guy has got speed, maybe not as fast as he was last year because of the injury, but the thing with the guys is that he's short in stature that when he comes out of the with the ball through the line, you can't really find him, and then all of a sudden he's there, and then he's got this instinct of hitting the holes when they produce, and you don't see him until he hits the hole, and by then sometimes he's gone.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, and you got to. I mean, think about how far he's come after the injury. That sidelined him last year.
Agreed.
And I mean, he's come quite a ways. And Michigan right now, you have to like the way Michigan is playing because it's the defense. I mean, the offense has been good. And J.J. McCarthy, who, by the way, Jim Harbaugh said the other day that he thinks J.J. McCarthy will be the best quarterback to ever play for Michigan.
Well, all I got to say is Blake Corum ain't never going to break the record for rushing touchdowns in a career for the Michigan Wolverines.
No, I can't remember.
My man Willie Heston, 1904, ended his career with 72 touchdowns, bro.
Man Willie, 1904.
My man Willie.
Like you two were having cups of coffee in 1904.
I mean, and Dan did bring up you better call Tyrone. Now he's third. And by the way,
how many did Tyrone Wheatley have?
Tyrone's got 47. Blake Corum's got 43. So he definitely can pass my man. He can call Tyrone and pass him there.
Okay.
Now the one where he's going to take, it's probably going to be tight if he can become number 2 all time. Is our man Anthony Thomas at 55.
Yeah.
So that's second all time. But you're never going to pass my man Willie. He's held this record for a long time. Back when they threw one pass every 2 or 3 games.
I don't know if I want to pass a guy named Willie. That's just Willie itself. 19 what? Yeah, we played football back then. I think we played in the late 1800s for crying out loud, man.
Yeah, the great Mike Hart, who's underrated, he's got 41. The great Mike Hart, who is another shorter running back who ran with a lot of guts and determination.
Well, he's our running back coach, which I.
Yeah, that's going to say he's on the staff, correct? Yes.
Yeah, real quickly, guys, I like what I see with this team. You're right. Defensively, it's strong.
Yep.
We'll see how it plays out, but we got little brother this weekend.
Michigan State.
And then we
don't drop the punt. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
We got Purdue, and then we got a bye, which is good because the bye that leads into the Penn State game, which is at Happy Valley, which will be a whiteout. I have mixed emotions on who I want to win this weekend when it comes to Penn State and Ohio State. I really don't know. Do I want Ohio State to be undefeated when they come into the big house, or do I want Ohio State to have the one loss and then Penn State undefeated and we go to their place? So, I mean,
I would take Ohio State with one loss because if you can get by them the second time, then they're going to be relegated to the I don't give a darn bowl. And
that's what I'm leaning for. That's why, that's exactly what Scott. That's exactly what I'm leaning for. So I'm hopefully we'll see how it plays out this Saturday. But it's going to be a big game. It's going to be game day, of course, and we'll go from there. But this is a very interesting year. I think, like I said before in previous shows, that we're looking at 4-team playoff right now. Next year, totally different. Okay.
Yeah.
You can have 6 bowl games with 12 teams in the playoffs, and for instance, like an NCAA basketball tournament, you could get a team that's let's say a 12 seed plays the number 1 seed, and all of a sudden they have the game of their life, and they'll never play that like that again, and they knock off number 1. Tell me how exciting that's going to be.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be very interesting because there'll be so many more teams in the mix. No doubt about it. And, of course, as we're talking to you, Dan, they just got through talking about Ohio State and Penn State, and Ohio State's a 4-point favorite, and now they're talking Alabama and whether or not the Vomit Queers can beat Alabama for the second straight year. So we'll see. It's going to be very interesting.
I think Bama's – it's almost like a workman in the blue-collar pale season for Bama. They're winning games, but not like Alabama, the blowouts or the domination games. But you know what? A W's a W, and you get to the end of the year, and with one loss to a Texas team that's highly ranked, Alabama's going to be fine if they just win out.
Well, they might. I mean, they got three. I mean, this is one of them. That in all due respect, I mean, Tennessee's a really good team. Heupel's done a really good job. They definitely have a shot this weekend, no question about that. And this is one of the three big tests for Alabama. I mean, they got to win this game. They got to beat LSU coming out of the bye, and then no matter what Auburn's record is, I mean, it's going to be in Jordan-Hare Stadium. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, and
crazy things happen in that game. I mean, you talk about weird
they've got
things.
three, big-time tests left, And I don't know what shape Kentucky will be in, but they've got Devin Leary, so I don't really worry about it too much.
Well, real quickly before I hang up, guys, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I came here in 1997. That was the year we won our championship.
Yeah.
And I remember running up and down the street with my big Michigan flag, and no one really gave a rat's butt about, us winning the national championship. And I'm thinking to myself, I've been on these airwaves for almost 30 years. I mean, it's amazing.
Time flies, man. No doubt about it.
Thanks for the phone call, Wolverine Dan. Yeah. And it's interesting because, and even yesterday when we were talking about the playoffs and the four teams, and we were talking yesterday, it's like you look at it, and Bill Bender. I don't know why. I mean, I had a senior moment there. Bill Bender, someone's going to get left out in these playoffs this year.
Well, here's the top four from Feinbaum. We have that show every day.
Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and Washington are his
but
top four
both of them are not getting
right
in.
now.
I'm sorry. I don't think both Ohio State and Michigan are getting in.
I don't think it's possible because
no, I just don't.
Because you Florida State, I think Florida State can.
I think Florida State will trip up at some point.
Okay, so it is a one-loss Florida State team. Then
not with a one-loss Michigan or Ohio State. No, I don't think so. And not with a
if Alabama beats Georgia
and a one-loss SEC. Now,
right,
where it will get hairy is if LSU wins out, and if LSU were to have two losses, and one of them would beat Ole Miss, who would probably likely have at least three.
Right.
That could hurt. That could hurt LSU in getting into the playoff. Because now I'll say this: LSU is going to be Florida State's biggest fan because if Florida State stays undefeated, I mean that you lost to an undefeated team. But Ole Miss, and then what they need Ole Miss to continue to win at least till they get to the Dogs.
Well, think about this: so what if this would play out? Texas beats Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. Oregon, Washington face each other in the Pac-12. Oregon beats Washington in the Pac-12 championship game. So now you have Oregon and Washington both with one loss. You got Oklahoma and Texas with one loss. Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game. Alabama, Georgia with one loss. Florida State gets tripped up. Florida State has one loss. Who are the four best teams that get into the playoffs? It's the worst-case scenario that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was asked this yesterday on another show, like, he said, "No, this is a very hard question to ask, but who's going to be the four teams as of right now?"
Oh,
and I just said, the way I put it is, you have to put it in a group of teams, and I basically put it like this: okay, if Alabama and Georgia win out, they're going to play in the SEC championship game in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes,
the winner of that game would be going to the playoff, no question in my mind. Okay, and then I said, I think Oklahoma and Texas, I'm going to show faith that neither one of them is going to gag, and they're going to get back and play in the Big 12 championship game. The winner of that game will go to the playoff. And then I'm going to show faith in the Pac-12. I know that people probably running off the road with the land and the fruits and nuts here, but I'm going to show faith that Oregon and Washington will play in a rematch, and the winner will go to the playoff. So and then Michigan or Ohio State. That's that, because I don't think Penn State. I think they're the third wheel. Like Bill said yesterday, I don't believe in Penn State. I believe in Ohio State and Michigan, and the winner of that game will go. And what that leaves out is Florida State, okay? But remember, last week everybody was talking about Louisville, and then Pitt came along and slapped them around.
Right.
And Louisville's worried about basketball season if they can actually have a winning record this year. So, and I'm talking about Braum. They're going to have a winning record. I'm talking about how bad Kenny Payne was in year one at Louisville. But I'm just saying,
if Florida State doesn't get tripped up and they will go undefeated,
they'll be in. But I don't think they will. Is my point. They almost lost to Boston College. Okay, they're a really good team. Norvell's done a remarkable job. But I think somewhere along the way, Florida State is, because Jordan Travis has been getting banged up. I just think somewhere along the way, Florida State is going to, and I think North Carolina will lose. And I just think the power ranking,
I forgot about North Carolina
of the ACC, the power ranking of the ACC will sink, and it will not match up with the other four that I'm mentioning: the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, and the Pac-12. I just think it's going to be the fifth league, and they're not going to get a representative, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's getting down to that time. We still got a lot of good college football left. I mean, it's nowhere near decided, but this is what makes college football and why college football is very entertaining.
And the Pac-12, which we joked about being, about our moron of the year yesterday, and
right, but that's the conference commissioner.
But what's interesting, and we've joked and called them the Pac-2, but they're actually having a tremendous year. I mean, they really
They are.
I mean, it's kind of a renaissance here.
All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, 256-576-4977. Plus, we got a couple topics to go over that you're not going to want to miss.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just got a 4-vehicle accident eastbound on 565. It looks like it's going to be in the curve just before Glen Hearn. Traffic is getting by it, but not much traffic. Old Highway 24 and New 24 in Lawrence County. That one may be a few more minutes before it's clear. More than 30 years experience makes D&L the company to save you money on heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. It's hunting and tailgate season and time to get serious about an F-150. We've got nearly 140 to choose from, and without a doubt, one of the best F-150 values on the road today is our STX package. You get 290 hard-working horses mated to a 10-speed transmission that'll take you everywhere, from that tree stand to downtown Tuscaloosa. Body-colored bumpers, halogen headlamps, 20-inch machined aluminum wheels, and lots of tech, like a rear-view camera with dynamic hitch assist, which you boaters and RVers will love. A 2023 Woody Anderson Ford F-150 STX packs a punch, but it doesn't cost you a bunch. You can drive one for $474 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $51.66 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends October 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Come test drive an F-150 STX today. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
There we go. Welcome back. Talking Ball Toy Hall of Fame finalists.
What?
Toy Hall of Fame. Look on the bottom screen. Toy Hall of Fame finalists.
Oh, good Lord.
I guess they're putting toys into the Hall of Fame. I guess there's a Toy Hall of Fame. I haven't seen what would be anything in there. I don't know. Things that they talk about on TV.
Man, wish I had all my old G.I. Joes and He-Man figures and could just sell them.
Same way with my Star Wars.
Oh, yeah,
from the
Star
back
Wars,
in the
too.
day.
Yeah, from
the stuff that's out now is like
early
not
80s.
even
No,
close
not
to
that
what it was
stuff,
like
the
when I
other
was a
stuff,
kid.
Man. Like the
I'm talking about like
Millennium Falcon
the
and all
late
that stuff.
70s, early 80s.
Yeah, the early
here we
80s
go.
stuff.
Here we go. The Pogo Stick, My Little Pony, the Pez dispenser, and the Fisher-Price corn popper are going into the Hall of Fame of
What
toys.
kind of toys are those? There's one I'm familiar with.
The Transformer?
And my Transformers, especially the Dinobots, man.
The toy popper.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway, 256-576-4977. Back. Hey, there you go. Star Wars action figures. They're a finalist. All right.
There you go.
They just showed them on there. All right, let's get back to it. 256-576-4977. This story, this one is true.
Yeah.
Did you see the Shane Beamer story?
Well, I read a little bit about it. I didn't watch the press conference. There was a lot of people ripping him. They said he was whining a lot.
Well, okay, he revealed that he broke a bone in his foot after the gut-wrenching loss to Florida.
He kicked something?
Yes, he was frustrated and kicked something that he should not have kicked after the game, and he sustained the injury. He says he's not going to need surgery. He's very probable for the game against Missouri, but he kicked something in the locker room and broke his foot after the loss to Florida.
That ain't good. But when it's 4th and forever and you give up a freaking first down throw, Mertz, rolls out and hits Pearsall, and you end up losing 41-39.
They blew a 10-point fourth quarter lead at home.
They looked like they were going to win the game.
They dropped to 4-2 on the season. He's now, but he's
2-4, right?
Yeah, 2-4. What did I say? 4-2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're 2-4. But he's 17-15 overall as Gamecocks coach. So, I mean, he's still above 500 there in South Carolina. But what happened to them this year? Remember, we sat with a Spencer Rattler.
I know, but I told you can't trust Spencer Rattler.
Can't trust the defense right now.
I mean, there's not a big margin for error. I mean, now we got people texting in about Cabbage Patch Kids and Teddy Ruxpin, for God's sake.
Teddy Ruxpin, yes. Cabbage Patch Kids, I remember those. I remember
all those stupid cards, the Garbage Pail Kids. That's something else.
Because that came around the same time as the Cabbage Patch Kids. That
was the
boy. I think that was the boy answer to the Cabbage Patch Kids. Was the Garbage Pail Kids.
You're right.
Let's go out there. You said Jason's out there with us. All right. Good morning, Jason.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Hey, you want to talk about the best toy? It's when you got the racetrack with the 4 or 5 Hot Wheel cars on it, and it had the loop on it.
Yes.
The loop to loop.
Yes.
Oh,
Get it to
man,
hang on
that
the
was-
loop.
Oh, yeah, that was the killer. I mean, you got that on Christmas morning. That was a killer right there.
Yeah, G.I.
Great.
All that kind of stuff.
I just never knew there was a toy
Awesome.
Hall of Fame.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
I mean, they're
I
spending,
could
that's what
make
they're
a
spending
huge
time on our national news, brother.
Oh,
You got Sleepy Joe in the White House, and they're thinking about this garbage.
Oh, yeah. We got stuff going on in Israel. They're talking about
the Toy
NIL
Hall of
yesterday.
Fame.
Yeah. Oh,
Mutton heads.
Hey, did you hear all the crap they was giving Shane Beamer yesterday?
Well, he's been getting crap since the press conference. I mean, I know they said he was very emotional and you just really irate. But, I mean, look, he's passionate. He wanted to win. And let's be blunt. I mean, they were up by 10. They gagged. They choked.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't finish the game. And they lose at home to a Florida team that's rebuilding. I know it frustrated them. It was a big win for Billy because they've been giving him hell, and he's recruiting lights out. But still, it's just one
They've
of those
got Missouri this week, Texas
Loss.
A&M, Jacksonville State, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Clemson left.
They may have a chance for 4 wins.
Yeah, do they have 4 wins on that
Maybe
schedule?
5.
It'd be the last 4. They'll have Vanderbilt, Jacksonville State. If they lose Jacksonville State.
Oh,
I mean,
if they
they're
lose
good.
to Jacksonville State, yeesh. I mean, they're having a really good year. Congrats to Rich Rod. But that would – now, Beamer's not getting fired, but he'd be like Sam Pittman. He'd be going into his 4th year for Shane. But there would be some people getting irked about it.
Yeah, he better pick up. Get Bo eligible. Get 6 wins anyway. He'll be all right.
All right, Jason. Thanks for the phone call. I want to get Ray Dog in here before the break. Good morning, sir.
What up, Ray?
How we doing, guys?
Doing good.
Give you a story maybe that bleeds over into the next hour. I saw it on Facebook, so clearly it has to be true.
Oh, Lord.
I knew I was going to get that from Drew. If there's a guy who could leverage and pull this off, it is this guy.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
Oh.
Yes, this is the story. Yep. This is the story that I was going to.
Go ahead, Ray.
I'll leave it there. If you're going with it at the
Yep.
top of the hour, I'll leave it there. Just know there are people who are paying attention, and if this guy's, I don't even know if it's possible.
I don't even either because there's rules in the NFL that may prevent this, and I've got to bring it up. Drew's rolling his eyes as
I'm
I
sure
bring
it's
this
another
up.
moment for Caleb to crown himself, even though he did throw 3 picks and play like dog meat.
Yes.
against Notre
Okay, so
Dame.
Ray, we won't be able to get to it right off the top of the hour because
Right.
we do have
Matt
Patterson with us, but at about 8:10, 8:15, we will
We're
talk
definitely
about
talking about this, Ray.
We will be definitely.
Go ahead, Ray.
I
Go.
want to say a number, and then I'm going to get off the phone.
Right, go.
$6.3 billion.
Oh,
Okay.
good Lord.
God knows what I mean with that.
Anyway, there you go. All right. That does give us some fodder for hour number 2. And, you will appreciate this story. That's the thing, though. Like I said,
He shouldn't even make all conference in the Pac-12. Shouldn't even make all conference. Who cares about a Heisman? He won it last year. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't even make all conference this year. He's completely overrated.
Oh, we could put Michael Penix in there.
Penix.
All right.
Like writing with a pen.
Hour number 2 coming up next. Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the G-Bank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.bank/VSiN.
The Phillies lead the National League Championship Series 2-0 after thumping the Diamondbacks 10-0 on Tuesday. Game 3's Thursday night in Phoenix. Brandon Pfaadt, the scheduled starter for the D-backs. The Phillies haven't announced their starter. Tonight, Max Scherzer pitches for the first time in over a month as the Rangers host the Astros for Game 3 of the ALCS. Texas up 2-0. Houston plus 110 on the money line. Astros skipper Dusty Baker.
I am not thinking about being down 3-0. That's the last thing on my mind.
The Phillies are the World Series favorite, plus 125. The Rangers plus 130. Houston a plus 750 bet, while the Diamondbacks check in at plus 1,500. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew. Each week, they lace it up. Each week, we'll present our Team of the Week.
Get it in here! I got one thing to say!
So it's time for the Bryant Bank Team of the Week presentation.
All right, it is hour 2 of Talking Ball, and that is right where we kick off is our Team of the Week, our 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bryant Bank Team of the Week presentation. Yesterday, we announced it on the show that this week's 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bryant Bank Team of the Week would be the Buckhorn Bucks. And today we get to honor them a little bit. This is like a, you know what? I just realized this. For our Bryant Bank Team of the Week winners,
right?
They get not 1, not 2, but 3 days of recognition. They get recognized on Monday or Tuesday.
Right,
we announce
right,
it on
yeah,
Tuesday.
we do.
We talk to the coach on Wednesday.
We do.
And then we present the check for $500 on Thursday. So they get 3 days of recognition.
Yeah, they it's well deserved, and we wouldn't be here without our friends from Bryant Bank who support high school athletics so much. And again, we're going to be out there tomorrow to see the Buckhorn Bucks and donate $500 to their football program. They got their biggest win of the season, in my opinion, last week, especially when you factor in playoff implications and setting up what could be coming up this Friday and down the road.
Yeah.
The Bucks trying to make the playoffs for the second straight year under their third-year head football coach, Matt Patterson, and he's been kind enough to join us this morning before school on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline as the Bucks are coming off of a 34-22 win over the Lee Generals in a very, very impressive performance. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
We are great, Coach. Man. How are you?
Man, doing great this morning.
Yeah, I can imagine, Coach. I mean, it had to be fun getting up on Saturday with your staff and watching that film and watching the way the guys performed last Friday night, Coach.
Man, it was. I can't be more prouder of our staff and our players to put in the work Monday through Thursday to get to Friday night. We firmly believe around here that games are won and lost way before 7 o'clock on Friday, and our guys put in the work and. Had a little bit of fire in their eye, and went up there and got the job done Friday night, and put us in position to do something that hasn't been done around here in quite a while. And the next, we've worked 365 days to be back in this position and to play in a game like we're about to play in Friday night at Fort Payne.
Yeah, Coach, you look at this team, and every team is different. Every team, you don't know what you're going to really get until. I don't know, week 4, maybe week 5, but how have you seen this team improve? I mean, at one point, you guys were 1-2. You come off of a back-to-back losses from Helena and Gadsden City. You're 1-2.
Tough schedule.
Yeah, you're 1-2. Yeah. It's a tough schedule. I mean, it could have gone either way. How's this team grown since that early portion?
They got better. The Helena game was probably the that's the best team we've seen up here in 3 years. They're really solid. They're still sitting undefeated and have a chance to be 10-0. But we played really well versus Gadsden City. The score is not indicative of how close the game really was, in my opinion. We had some things really go against us, but I saw our team light up that night. They lit up in a loss. They played well, had some bad breaks. Came back the next week and played really well again versus Hazel Green, but just didn't punch it in. And had to score late to win 28-21. And then, we go on the road and play another undefeated Gunnersville team, and again caught some untimely bad breaks that really blew the score wider than what it was at the moment. But the kids have been resilient. They have never flinched. They've never questioned what we're doing. They show up every day and they go to work. They go in the weight room and grind. And I think that's been a big thing that really helps us get over the top is we're committed to the weight room 3 days a week. We lived Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We were in the weight room at 2 o'clock on Friday before we played league. So, that's just something that we believe in. And I think our kids have found a little bit of an edge right now. And, we're improving every week and every day. And that's all I've asked of them.
Well, and Coach, it was a wild first half. You led 24-22. Shamarian Landrum had 3 touchdowns for you, and had a Player of the Week type performance. And of course, you got Van Reed with a long field goal for you too to give you the lead at halftime. And I know a big emphasis was on containing Carlin Long. He had a couple of short touchdown runs in the first half, but second half you held them to under 40 yards of total offense. What was the adjustments you made at halftime defensively to slow Lee down?
Just getting to the football. Our defensive staff had a great game plan. The little tips and tendencies that you get when you watch film, and our kids have bought into that, and we're flying to the football, and just we needed to get some stops. And I think at halftime I asked for 1 stop and a score to make it a 2-score game, and to kind of get them behind and make them throw the ball a little more than they wanted to. We didn't want Lee to be in total domination of the game, because if they are, they're going to hand it to Carlin 50 times and grind it out. So we didn't want that, but we just kind of keep doing what we're doing. The first half, what we were doing wasn't really broke. We busted a couple of big plays and things of that nature, but it's just doing our job. That was basically all we really asked of them. We asked for 1 stop and a score, and just keep doing your job, and we was going to grind it out on them.
Yeah, now you turn your attention. You go from a Lee team that, kind of likes to run the ball to a Fort Payne team that can be balanced at times. They can throw the ball a little bit, and they can also run the ball.
Shoot, they throw the ball a lot. They throw it probably about 40 times a game. It's the polar opposite. Last week it was the stopping the run. This week is, obviously trying to, give them problems in the passing game. But great Fort Payne football team. Coach Elmore's teams are always well coached. Got a couple really good linebackers, and obviously Dax Vonador at quarterback. He got 2 or 3 coaches' kids on this team, and anytime you got coaches' kids on your team, you got tremendous leadership, and that shows every time you turn the film on.
Yeah, and they certainly I know Lee beat them in a high-scoring game, 49-42, but you made a great point, Coach. I've seen some Fort Payne teams in my time, and with Coach Elmore there, and they're extremely difficult preparation because of how wide open and how balanced they are and some of the different things they do offensively.
Oh, yeah, I bet you we've looked at probably 21 or 22 different variations of screen.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
It's like playing. It's like Mike Leach and Tony Franklin is on the staff at Fort Payne right now. So it's kind of difficult. You got to kind of search your way through a little bit, but it's a challenge, and that's what you play for. You play for games to where the winner is going to be the 2 seed for all practical purposes, and this is a playoff environment. It's going to be cold Friday night in Fort Payne, and it's going to feel like playoff football weather.
Yeah, how do you prepare for that in practice? How do you do that? How do you try to teach that and get everybody on the same page in, 2-3 days?
Well, we kind of build in it as you go. We do a lot of things versus ourselves, situational things like excuse me. We do overtime challenge.
Yeah.
We do tempo periods where we're trying to snap it as fast as we can, and we do the same thing for screens. So, we do a screen drill every week, and we go live in it, and we can show them some looks, but if we do our jobs, it really doesn't matter what kind of screens they do run. If we can fit it up and do our jobs and recognize it, we should have people to the ball to make plays. So that's just kind of one of those things you kind of got to deal with. They got 11, we got 11, and there's only 53 and a third yards across the field. So, if we can defend it all the best we can and try to, neutralize one or two, we got to get a couple stops Friday night. Obviously, we got to play ball control on offense and, hopefully come out of Fort Payne with a win, whether it's by 1 or whether it's by 20.
Yeah,
it don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just surviving and getting that dub, and they're a good football team. Coach, I mean, we were kind of researching this yesterday. We went back to the 05 team, which is, I think, the best in Bucks history. I was at some of those playoff games, and when they beat Athens, and they went on the long run and ended up playing for a state championship against one of the best 5A teams in history in Homewood. But is that the last time that they had a home playoff game in the first round? When is it? When is the last time that the Bucks have done that?
I believe you're right. I believe it's 2005.
Yeah, that was a great year for Buckhorn football, no doubt about it. That's what we were thinking. We kind of started researching it and I heard you mention it on our Woody Anderson Ford High School football scoreboard show powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission on Friday that that was going to be one of those things that's one of the carrots being dangled in front of this team is to host a playoff game. You got there last year in the tournament, but it means so much to have it on your campus.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was this place here is electric. For people that have not been to a home game at Buckhorn or seen it, I mean, our home sides are going to be filled up every Friday night. Obviously, our camp we're going to be packed at the Cotton Classic, but I just can't imagine. I mean, I have a vision of what it's going to be like if we do get a chance to host a playoff game, and I think it'll be standing room only from this community because I mean, this community is so supportive of its athletics of any sport. And that's the thing. They're kind of hungry for some winning, and we can accomplish a lot of things these next few weeks that hasn't been accomplished here in a very long time, and really just kind of establishing our bedrock of what we want this program to grow into over the next couple of years.
Where is your team? And this is year 3 for you. And I know even from the start of this season, because you faced a very difficult early schedule that you've already kind of been over, but what areas have they improved the most in that's going to help them in this environment coming up on Friday at Fort Payne?
Leadership. There's no doubt about it. Just the kids growing up and taking the ownership and, communicating with each other and, just loving each other. I mean, we had 2 kids yesterday that were talking to some reporters, and that's the first things they said. And, that's not scripted from me or any coach or anything like that. It's, you're starting to see this be a player-led team rather than coach-led teams. And those are the type of teams that can become the most dangerous down the stretch. And, we've played some good football the past couple of weeks, but at the same time, I don't think we've played our best football. And that's kind of been our mission in practice the past couple of days is, keep chasing best. And, we may never catch it, but if we can keep improving every day, we can be a very dangerous football team in the last weeks here of October and the month of November.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, it's always nice when you can reward or honor the kids. And
right.
This week, you guys are, and this is Matt Patterson, head coach of the Buckhorn Bucks, with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, congratulations, though. You guys are this week's Bryant Bank Team of the Week. It's been a couple years. It's been a season and a half since we've been out there. But what does this mean for the kids?
Well, it means a lot to them, to see their work recognized. And, that's what, you talk about all the time is, you don't get recognized for everything you do right and in society now. But to be recognized and good, it means a lot to them. At the same time, we talked about it yesterday. You can't read your own headlines. You got to continue to go to work because people only remember the last Friday night. You go out there and you get beat. They don't remember the last 2 weeks. They're only going to remember the last one. So we got to put it in the rearview mirror. We're going to enjoy it. And then, when we load the bus up on Friday, go to Fort Payne, we better be focusing on our mission or it could be it's either going to be a great night or a long night when you go to Fort Payne.
Well, and Coach, I would think you briefly mentioned it earlier, but the tempo of the game and controlling the line of scrimmage and time of possession, it's going to be big factors Friday.
Oh, absolutely. We have to play Buckhorn football. We can't play at we can't allow, Fort Payne's going to try to dictate the game like they should, but we can't allow that to happen. We gotta try to limit their possessions and keep them on the sideline. And their spread teams that throw it around, they want to snap it 50, 60, 70 times, and we got to try to reduce those numbers. Keep the score down for them and not let them get to anywhere close to their average. I think they're averaging around 46 points a game, but they average giving up in the 30s too. So we got to make them play our ball and kind of I guess you can say a little bit of old school meet new school a little bit, but we're going to do what we do best, and that's our game plan every week.
Well, Coach, we thank you for the time. I know school's getting underway, but we look forward to seeing y'all out there tomorrow and being able to honor your football team before you guys head over to Fort Payne on Friday night. You'll hear that game called by Tom Abraham and John McGough on 97.7 The Zone on Friday night. Good luck, Coach, and we appreciate it. Congratulations to your program.
All right. Thanks, Scott and Drew. Go Bucks.
Thanks. Matt Patterson with us. We just got to figure out, Coach, what time. You got to get back to me, Coach, via the text. We just got to figure out what time to come out there tomorrow. So I texted him before the interview thinking that he would get back to me while we were on the interview.
He was being interviewed. He can't text when he's talking.
I know. But now I'm hoping he doesn't forget because we need to go out there. We've got to check for him for $500.
Trust me, we're going to be out at Buckhorn at some point. Yeah.
I'm not going out there at 9 and then waiting all day.
No, of course not.
All right.
I mean, come on.
All right.
I mean,
let's get a break.
It took me half the season, but I finally got it right. The Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show presented by the Huntsville Sports Commission. You almost messed me up again.
You got that one wrong. It's
How?
not presented by. It's powered by.
Oh, whatever. It was a P word.
There's a lot of P words.
I know.
There's a lot of P words.
Well, you screwed me up halfway through it. There you go.
Coach got it. Here we go. 3 p.m.
Okay.
3 p.m.
There you go.
Look at that. Whoa.
Told you.
Let's get a break in. See? Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Sounds like they've launched a medical helicopter on that overturned vehicle, 231 near Fields Road in Lacey. That one's got several injuries. They've moved the wreck on 565 just before Glen Hearn over to the right side of the road. That traffic's moving again, but it's back all the way to Greenbrier. Everything else accident-wise should be clear now. Stall tractor trailer 67 in Morgan County, southbound at Cambridge Way, waiting on a wrecker for it. You get 2 pieces of hand-breaded, juicy, tender signature chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff, and North Parkway. Captain Eck in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is driven by you, driven by those with grit, determination, and a goal to succeed. This is why we do what we do. The Huntsville Sports Commission promotes an enhanced quality of life in the Huntsville area through sports. We work hard to make sure those who come to Huntsville to compete have all they need to be the best they can be. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. All right, here is the Caleb Williams story that we were talking about to end our number one.
No. I haven't even read it, but I'll just go ahead and say it. It's the Caleb Williams stupidity, but onward.
Okay, so Caleb Williams has a choice to make at the end of this year. At the beginning of the year, Caleb Williams went on record and said that he can make more money by staying in college next year because of NIL than what he could make going to the NFL. True, I don't know. We don't know. The feeling is that Caleb Williams right now would be the number one pick in the NFL draft. Now, this is where the story kind of gets murky. We don't know if this is true or not. It is being reported by a couple outlets, not ESPN, not Fox, not your big major sports outlets, but it's being reported by a couple outlets that this is what Caleb Williams and his camp want if he decides to go to the NFL. Okay?
I'd want him not to throw 3 interceptions against Notre Dame and embarrass himself. But let's go on with what Clown Patrol wants.
Would be that if he is drafted, upon being drafted, he would want ownership stake in the team that drafts him.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Never made a play in his life in the NFL level, and he wants an ownership stake. Tom Brady might deserve that, and they're trying to work that out with the Raiders. But this clown, give me a break. Once again, you didn't even play. You weren't even the best quarterback on the field against Arizona. So, whatever.
But the good news is...
He wasn't better than Bryce Young and Hendon Hooker last year either, by the way.
Oh, but he won the Heisman.
I don't care. He played against garbage.
You can't say that about the Pac-12 this year, though, can
No,
we? I mean, last year they were.
And guess what? The Pac-12 is good this year, and Caleb Williams is not even all conference. One more time. Not even all conference.
Michael Penix would be first team all conference right now. Bo Nix would be
is
second
better than
team.
this clown. And they'll beat the hell out of USC. Just watch.
Yeah. Wow, think about that. Everybody has him penciled in.
They'll lose 3 or 4 games. He ain't through losing.
So
should have lost to Arizona. It's embarrassing.
So Caleb Williams would want a he would want ownership in the team that drafts him. Now, it is also reported within this article that Aaron Rodgers wanted part of the contract negotiations for Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets was that he wanted some ownership in the Jets as well. But the problem is current NFL players or active NFL players cannot hold ownership stake in any team that they play for. That's an NFL rule.
You think?
So, yeah.
So why ask for it?
Well,
they probably didn't even do it. It's probably another Zuckerberg lie. Isn't that a shock on Facebook? Not like they don't rip you off all the time. Stupid Democrat.
So the latest athletic straw poll, Heisman straw poll that polls Heisman voters, which, by the way, Steve and I are not part of this straw poll. Steve Moulton and I are Heisman voters, but we are not part of this Heisman straw poll. I don't know why the Athletic didn't ask us.
They're too busy ripping other people off, but go ahead.
Michael Penix Jr., your new number one. Your new number one in the Heisman straw poll. 34 first-place votes for Michael Penix this week. Number 2 on the list, Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma.
Whatever.
Number 3, Bo Nix.
He's good.
Number 4, and this is surprising, Jaden Daniels from LSU.
Why is
number
it surprising?
4.
He should be up there.
No. I'm thinking, is that too low right now for Jaden Daniels? That's why
I'm
surprised.
Because the reason he's either going to be 3 or 4, just simply because now in rising. Let me that.
It is going
because
up
because they've lost 2 games, but he's rising. He's Robert Griffin the thirding, as he did when he lost 3 games, but kept putting up big numbers and rolling, and if Jaden Daniels keeps this up, he's going to be in the top 2 to 3 easily for this award because he's been tremendous.
And if they go into Tuscaloosa and would somehow find a way to beat Alabama and Jaden Daniels has a big game.
If he has 300 plus yards passing or 300 all-purpose yards or whatever, remember he helped him walk it off last year. Jaden Daniels is going to be right up there, man. If they get to Atlanta and beat Georgia, and it's him and Brock Bowers, and Brock will be back by then. By the way, I'll make a prediction for Brock Bowers. If Lane Kiffin can not Lane Kiffin and stay on the winning path up till they get to the Dogs in 3 weeks, miraculously you'll see Brock Bowers.
You think so?
Ain't gonna be no 4 to 6 weeks.
So
he'll be back.
What Brock Bowers haven't done is that tightrope surgery. That's exactly what Tua started.
Had it a couple times. Jalen Hurts had it. Cam Robinson,
Yes.
He'll be back.
Let's go out to the phone lines real fast. Jeremy is with us this morning. Good morning, Jeremy.
Morning.
I somewhat agree with the Heisman. The question is, what happened to Deion Sanders? Is he not going to get his Heisman? I mean, Deion's son.
Well, Shadour's a really good player,
according to this,
when you should have a losing record, you're not going to win the Heisman.
In the straw poll, Shadour Sanders was there the first couple weeks. He is not even in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They do 14.
Look,
they have 14 people here getting votes.
They couldn't
He's not
hold
even
a 29 to
in
nothing lead.
Right.
Well, it just felt like his dad. It felt like his dad was trying to win that trophy more than he was. When you have a garbage game like you had the second half Friday night. I guess that I thought he could still be in the talks because, to be honest with you, the kid is really good.
Oh, he is, and Travis Hunter's special, but he's missed some time and. The problem is, but they don't do the tackling. Neither one of them do the tackling, and when you can't stop running water, it eventually catches up to you.
Well, and I'll say this poll right here
Yeah.
shows how important coaching is.
Yeah.
Because if you don't believe coaching in college football is important, look at Bo Nix.
Very true. We said that this week on the show.
Yes, very, very true.
That kid has went far beyond expectations over in Oregon. There was things that I mean, you expected this out of him at Auburn, but I think that he finally got a coach that understands Bo Nix, and he's probably got. And to be honest with you, what I really think it is, because this is a big Pac-12 thing, is they know how to massage egos in the Pac-12, because it seems like a lot of ego players play in the Pac-12. I know we got them all over college football, but Bo Nix just always seemed like he was one of those that needed his ego massaged every once in a while.
Well, and Oregon did that. I mean, you look at the campaign that Oregon did to massage that a little bit, putting billboards
I
up
just think
all
they
over the
surrounded
place.
him with better players and a better scheme.
Did Auburn ever have the type of talent on the team that he had at Oregon? That he has okay, yeah, then that's right. And coached a lot better.
He has definitely coached a lot better. What I'm going to find amusing, though, is when Harrelson gets hired on as a coordinator or something over in the Pac or the Big Ten next year. I think he'll come back as a coordinator down the line here somewhere.
Brian Harsin, yeah,
Yeah, I think he'll come back as and maybe you'll see. I'm hoping it's wherever Oregon, whatever conference Oregon's in, just so that you can get that. Because I mean, even if it's next year or a year after that, what's Bo Nix got left eligibility-wise? Can he come back another 1, 2, 3, 4
I
years?
don't think so.
Yeah, I think this is it for him.
I think this is year 5 here for Bo.
I mean, he's been in college football so long, he should be wearing number 18 for Clemson.
Now, well, Zion Webb has been the one that's been there a long time. He balled out for Jacksonville State. He's in his 7th year with 2 kids and a marriage.
Jeremy, thanks for the phone call, bud.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Thanks for the phone call, yeah. Did you say, what did he say, a family and 2 kids?
Yeah, he has a married with 2 kids and a partridge in a pear tree.
Partridge in a pear tree. Oh, let's get a break in. Oh, Vince Ferrara, he's in Knoxville. He's going to join us on the phone lines coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. We'll drop into the low and mid-50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday. A mostly cloudy sky Thursday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers are going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley. It looks like the best chance for that is going to be Thursday night and then through the first half of the day on Friday. Highs hanging out in the mid-70s on Thursday. I've got the upper 60s and lower 70s on Friday. More sunshine builds back into the Tennessee Valley by the time we get to Saturday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
They got southbound blocked completely on 231 near Fields Road. They're going to block northbound when the helicopter lands. Got an overturned vehicle in a wreck there. Eastbound 565 near Glen Hearns over to the right side of the road. That traffic's beginning to thin out a bit. And we got southbound 67 at Cambridge Way in Morgan County. That's a tractor trailer that stalled. They were waiting on a wrecker at last report. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Don't let your back or neck pain get in the way. Get back to doing the things you love with the spine and neuro team from Huntsville Hospital. As the most experienced in the area, we have been improving lives in North Alabama for more than 50 years. Whether your favorite fishing hole is on Wilson Lake in the Shoals, Flint Creek, or Lake Gunnersville, Spine and Neuro is nearby to get you back to your best. Visit us online at spineandneuro.com to learn more.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out, or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Alumni Hall is the ultimate shopping experience for Alabama and Auburn fans. Located right here in Huntsville, come shop the best selection of officially licensed apparel, accessory, and gifts. Alumni Hall has the newest products from Nike, Under Armour, Yeti, New Era, Champion, Columbia, Southern Tide, Peter Millar, and more. And you can earn cash back with their Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located in the Bridge Street Shopping Center, or shop anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where fans shop. Look the part. Go to Alumni Hall.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. And we've touched on it in hour number one and a little bit in hour number two. And that is the Tennessee Volunteers, Alabama, third Saturday in October. What's this one going to look like? Tennessee comes in with over 240 yards a game on the ground. Alabama doesn't give up above 100 yards in SEC play on the ground. What's going to give? You know, what kind of game does Jalen Milroe need to have? What kind of game does Joe Milton need to have? There's a lot of questions and intrigue with this game.
There is, no doubt about it. And one of our favorite people is going to help us peel back the onion on this matchup. He does a great job as he hosts Sports Talk each morning. He just really got off the air. He's on from 6 to 9 in the morning, but 5 to 8 Central Time on Sports Radio WNML with John Wilkerson. That's Vince Ferrar, and he's with us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. It's a big week, Vince. How are you? Good morning.
I am good, guys. Good morning. Great to be with you. I'm good. Hope you guys are well.
Yeah, we are, man. And we've kind of been talking about this during the week, and I know it's been heavily discussed on your show. This almost reminds me of an old school Johnny Majors, Gene Stallings game where the team that runs the ball the best wins this thing. You got to stop the run. You got to win the plus minus. Neither quarterback has lit up the scoreboard. Both have been they've had bright moments, and certainly Milroe played well against Texas A&M. We haven't seen the huge year many were projecting for Joe Milton. This is an interesting matchup, though. The teams kind of reflect each other a little bit. Tennessee, though, actually coming in with a better ground attack.
Yeah, this is much different than 52-49
yes.
with the goalpost going into the river in Knoxville last year and snapping the streak, obviously. But these two teams have sort of made the most of what they are, right? They're not what they were a year ago. They're different, and maybe it ends up being just as good in the end because it's a matter of beating who's in front of you. So this will be, I think, as good a test as either one of them. And certainly Texas is up there as an opponent for Alabama, but this will be Tennessee's best test. We thought it was last week against A&M, but Tennessee pinned their third loss on them. Maybe Florida's the best team they played, and they lost to them. We'll see. But Florida's flawed also with a couple of losses. So this is the first top 25 team that Tennessee would have faced. So a tougher test. Oh, by the way, now you're playing a rival that has great history against you, then plenty of motivation, plenty of things for them to play for, and the home field advantage, which I think has been even more intense and amplified this year. So it will be a challenge. But you mentioned all those things, Drew, and that are important in this game, and those are all accurate and correct, and we can get in all of them. But another part of it, kind of like the league championship series, especially in the National League, it's about home runs.
Hitting big plays, yeah.
And Jalen Milroe has done that at a very high clip, very accurate. Joe Milton has not. Hendon Hooker was as good as there was in the country at the deep ball throws last year.
Yes, he was.
Here's some numbers for you guys just to compare Milroe versus Milton. Milroe throws 20-plus yards. This is from Pro Football Focus. 19 of 31, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 737 yards at 61% completion. Joe Milton throws 20-plus yards this year. 8 of 35 for 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Here's Joe Milton in 2023. Now, some of this was certainly mop-up duty, but then also the Vanderbilt game and the Clemson game. Last season, Joe Milton was in throws of 20-plus yards, 14 of 29 for 607 yards, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. It's a better percentage than even Hendon Hooker and more yards per completion. Hendon Hooker in 2022, 30 of 68, 1,229 yards, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. So my point being is that Hooker last year, Milton last year, both were really good at throws down the field, and Milton improved in that area. It has not translated this year. Some of it is absolutely on Joe Milton, but some of it is on the receivers as well. That receiving group has not been anything like we expected them to be. Maybe we overestimated them. I did. And then they lost Brew McCoy on top of that. So it's been an adjustment for them. Times they're out of sync. Times there have been drops. Times it's just Milton either seeing it late, throwing it late, or just overthrowing it because he's juiced up in the moment in the ball game. But it has not been as good down the field for Milton at anything close to it like it has for Milroe.
You watch Tennessee, you watch the offensive line, and we talked about this earlier in the week that last year the biggest question around the Tennessee program was, can the offensive line hold up? Now you go into this game, and just to tell you how different it is, the Tennessee offensive line has been holding up very well this year. The Alabama offensive line is the one that comes into the game this year with a lot of questions.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Tennessee's offensive line, it's different. For the South Carolina game was the first time they had their starting offensive line together, and with Cooper Mays coming back. So they also had Gerald Mincy at right tackle, and he was supposed to be their starting right tackle going into the year. Then Ollie Lane, who's part of a couple of guys filling in for Cooper Mays at center, he slid back to his more natural position at left guard. So really, they've been doing this without their complete offensive line throughout the year, and it has been much better since Cooper Mays came back into the lineup. Now, Gerald Mincy left the Texas A&M game with an injury. Dane Davis came in. I didn't think Mincy even played his best ball, but Josh Heupel thinks he should be ready to roll for the Saturday. We'll see if he starts or if that continues. Injuries have not exactly been an open book this year with Tennessee, so we'll see. But yeah, the offensive line has been probably better than anyone would have expected. And one thing I like to do is look at plus minus for sacks and tackles for loss. And Tennessee in sacks this year is plus 15 in 24 sacks, only 9 allowed. And then in tackles for loss, they are plus 29 in their sacks versus tackles for loss. So A&M was able to get a few of both sacks and tackles for loss last week. I expect Alabama to be able to do some of that, more so than we had seen earlier in the year. But Tennessee still should be able to run the football, and there should still be enough opportunities for Milton to have time to go down the field, and especially if they're playing in run protection and run support, he's got to hit those shots. So it is a better offensive line for Tennessee this year.
And Vince, were you surprised that we talked about this last week on the show? I was a little bit that the Vols weren't able to exploit the A&M secondary a little bit.
Yeah, Tennessee had more penalty yards than passing yards in the game. For them to win that game despite that shows you how good the run game and the defense was, and special teams obviously with D. Williams coming through with a punt return. But yeah, you can't sustain that, and that was Alabama's plan against A&M, and frankly is probably Tennessee's plan too. They just weren't able to execute it. Had another just head-scratching drop from Ramel Keaton on a deep ball sure touchdown. He's had a couple of those this year, and just not in sync in the passing game. Does that mean every game is going to be 100 yards passing and that's who they are? No. But, yeah, there was opportunities there, and they did not take advantage of them against A&M, who was such a good front. They were, and they're aggressive. So there were opportunities there. They just could not cash in on them.
Yeah.
Well, what's your feelings Saturday with this game? Is it going to be low scoring? Do you think, because something in these type of games usually happens that we don't even think about? That unthinkable thing happens. I mean, is it a game where both quarterbacks come out and all of a sudden, bam, we're like, where did this come from Milton and Milroe?
Well, with Milroe, we've seen some highs, and especially even within a game, it's the highs and it's the lows, as you guys know. Mm-hmm. Milroe, each of the last two games, he's completed 4 passes, 20 more yards, and he's had 2 touchdowns off of those. So they're throwing down the field a little bit more frequently, and he's had success. So yeah, you can have incompletions and interceptions if you're going to hit your deep shots for touchdowns, and teams are going to give those to you. And so I think you've seen a little bit more of that up and down for him, and that can compensate for you not sustaining drives. We're not used to Alabama not sustaining drives when they don't want to, or when they want to. So Tennessee just has not been able to do that. So I think that you will see some different things than what we've seen, but I do think that one of these two quarterbacks is going to have a better game than maybe we've seen them yet this year in any game, or a most complete game to win it. The thing that's still, even though Tennessee's defense, which I haven't even got into, has been so good, the run game, as you guys mentioned, the one thing that, to me, I have a hard time getting past from Tennessee's standpoint is handling the road environment with this offense. Mm-hmm. They have not done that very well the last 3 times we've seen them in true hostile environment road games. At Florida earlier this year, at South Carolina at the end of last year, and then at Georgia before that. Granted, Georgia, great team, national champs. But still, the tempo gets messed up. You start jumping off sides on first down. Now you're behind the chains. Now you slow down the pace because the quarterback and the line have all these different options and checks. And it's just a domino effect if you don't handle things well. They'll have their starting center, Cooper Mays, there, but I kind of got to see it from Tennessee that they can handle that road environment and have that tempo be an advantage for them and pay off for them late in a ball game because they've executed well before that. We just haven't seen it. And then Joe Milton in that passing game, not just Joe Milton, but the passing game, got to see them be able to handle the physicality that Alabama's going to play with, the coverage looks, and the pressure perhaps that they haven't seen before on Joe Milton. So I think it's going to be on the lower scoring end, Scott, but
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be 20-13, but it wouldn't surprise me if both teams are sub 30 or, we don't see a ton of touchdowns, see them settling for field goals in the game.
And, and Vince, before you go, I do want you to talk about the defense for Tennessee. It's definitely improved each year under Josh Heupel and Tim Banks. They rush the passer well. Their front's much improved. We know about Beasley. But I know the worry in Nashville was the back end. How has this defense as a whole, though, performed?
Much better than anyone would have expected. The hope going into the year for Tennessee fans was if the defense can be a little bit better, and if the offense is just even close to what it was last year, even if it's not number one, it's close to it, doesn't have a massive drop-off, then this can be an SEC East or college football playoff contending type of team. Well, what's happened is the offense, especially the passing game, has dropped off a bunch, and the defense has gotten much better. So you're kind of back to where you were without that natural progression, and that's why they're sitting there like Alabama with one loss overall and still with everything in front of them in terms of the league because of the defense. And, people have complained and wanted Tim Banks fired. There's so many examples of calls and, message boards and all that kind of stuff of wanting Tim Banks fired last year. But, hey, guess what? When you have some pass rush, how much it can help you on all ends. Now you don't have to cover as much on the back end. Now you don't have to send a bunch of exotic blitzes to get home. Alabama, Georgia, these elite programs have known all about that. You send 4, now you can do so many things to impact the quarterback and open receivers on the back end with what you do in coverage versus selling out. Last year they had 31 sacks, and they had to send blitzes all the time and then expose themselves on the back ends, and you have all those busts. They don't have to do that now, and they are more sound. Kamal Haddon, who's another kid that people wanted kicked out of the program for missing tackles against Florida, now he's the highest graded cornerback in the SEC. So a lot of things have come into place and improved, and they haven't even had Keenan Peely outside of their opener, and they're hoping to get him back in November. So they're improved at all levels, but it starts with that front wreck and shop at the line of scrimmage.
Well, it's going to be a great game, 2:30 CBS, Alabama and Tennessee, third Saturday in October. Let everybody know how to follow your work, Vince. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. At Vince Sports, VINCE Sports, and then on our website, 991thesportsanimal.com. Go to the blog section for blogs for me, and then also in the podcast section for the podcast of myself and John Wilkerson on Sports Talk each weekday morning, and then I do the Vol Network pregame and do high school football. Jay Graham will be calling a game where his son will be playing as my analyst for Clinton High School this Friday night. So doing a bunch of stuff, so it'll be fun, but I'll always appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vince.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get that final break in. Your tomorrow's headlines will wrap us up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a new wreck in Decatur, Beltline and Old Moulton. That one's an injury type. They were going to launch a medical helicopter, but they can't fly because of weather. 231 at Fields Road in Lacey got another medical helicopter there. That one was an overturned vehicle, and also got 2 ground ambulances on the scene. Eastbound 565 near Glen Hearn should be off to the right side of the road, and I'm not sure about a wrecker southbound on 67 at Cambridge Way. Had a stalled tractor trailer there in Morgan County. The end of the year is coming. If you need temp, admin, or accounting help for special projects, Snelling can help. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Captain Egg in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. Your tomorrow's headlines today, they're going to be short.
Yeah.
Because, well, we don't have a lot of time left, but still.
We were talking about Caleb Williams' overrated ass.
We were talking about Caleb Williams, yes, and supposedly them wanting partial ownership or stake in a team if he gets drafted. This is just going to be pain to your heart. But the Phillies are up 2-0.
I know. It was home run derby again last night. Your boy Schwarber, he was famining. I know, feasting. What am I saying that? He's famining. When he was famining, he's striking out. He was feasting last night.
He's not.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks were famining, man. They're down 2-0.
Phillies up 2-0.
I mean, we're inching toward.
2-0.
Yeah, we're inching toward the Rangers and the Phillies, man.
Just how you drew it up, right?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny that I think when the playoffs started in Vegas, the Rangers were the favorite to win the World Series, or at least very quickly. Interesting.
All right. Well, we're just about done with this show.
Another shout out to River Helms, even though they lost. West Limestone Wildcat balled out. Good win for Jacksonville State, though. What a first year in Conference USA and to be bowl eligible, man.
I know.
When you're on the FBS
huge.
level.
You don't see it too often. Usually it takes a couple years for a team to pick up 3 or 4 wins because, one, that just tells you kind of probably why the ASUN conference last year was like, wait a minute, you can win the conference, but you're not going to be the conference winner because they were already building for this last year.
Yeah.
With their roster size and everything else, they were already building for
Well, be on the look for some coverage today. We're going to get the Highfalutin Grand Bohemian Hotel.
Oh, that's right. You're going to Birmingham.
SEC Basketball Media Day. NATO's at 1 o'clock. Bruce Pearl at 3 o'clock. We're going to have coverage from players.
There's no Buc-ee's for you to stop at on the way down.
Jalen Williams, Jonai Broom. Well, there's one in Leeds, but I don't know if I'll stop there. But
That's out of the way.
I know. And then Aaron Estrada, Mark Sears. We'll have some coverage for you later today from Birmingham.
Safe travels. Don't forget, we got to be in Buckhorn tomorrow at 3.
Oh, I know.
All right.
David Lloyd, too. Going to see him.
Hey, we'll tell everyone, though, Kelly McCarty will be in here in studio Friday morning.
Friday morning, hour 1, 7:15 a.m. Houston, future Houston Cougar.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying, Roll Tide.